First off, I want to welcome everybody to our 9th annual Kaiden Cares Super Draft. I want to take a second and give you a little history on this event. 9 years ago, while I was playing in a world tournament in Florida, myself and Eric Atkins, who's here somewhere, we had a talk about how we can bring softball back to Stark County and develop the game to be bigger here. We sat in our condo, we came up with a bunch of different ideas, and the best idea we had was individuals sign up and start drafting them like a football draft. So when we got back to Ohio, we decided to make a post on Facebook, and we got a great reply. 88 players signed up in less than a month. We didn't have raffles or prizes or anything like that at our first event. We just had players and games. The turnout was great. We ended up making $3,500 in profits, which we donated to Make-A-Wish Foundation. Next year, moving on to year 2, we've seen the growth in the softball community, so we wanted to get more people involved. So we got in contact with Jared Poling, Lenny Vance, and Mike Horton. We figured out some ideas that we can make this event better. Many of the things that you see today have came from many of those meetings with those guys. Year 2, we donated all our profits to Canton Challenger baseball team. In year 3, 2012, that's when everything changed for us. My son Kaiden was born. My wife Chrissy's going to go over his story here in a minute, but that's the year it changed for us. We wanted to start our own nonprofit organization. We wanted to donate that money to families and children that were born with congenital heart disease. Today we have 20 teams with 280 registered players. Many sponsors, as you guys can see with all the banners on the backs of the shirts. We were able to this point, raise over $80,000 in 9 years to donate. Today, with the help of all you, we are hoping to bring in $20,000. I also want to make notice of this. Along the walkway that you guys walked in, we named that Ledger's Walkway after Bill and Victoria's son Ledger last year. Along that walkway, you're going to read many stories of children that were affected. So I ask you today to take time to read those stories, because that's why we're here. I would love to talk more about what Kaiden Cares is and what our mission is, but I'm going to leave that to my wife here in a bit. I want to get into some special thank yous and introduce some very important people to this event. First, I want you all to pay attention to these gentlemen to the right of me. All these captains came to a draft a few weeks ago at Nathan's Patio. All these captains you see went out and got their own sponsors. They paid for auction players, and that night we were able to raise over $4,000. These captains put in a lot of time. It's just not drafting a team and being done with it. A lot of these guys spend just as much time on the phone, text messages, Facebook as I do. So as I mentioned these captains, I would like you guys to step up and take some recognition. First captain is going to be Lee Willig. Mike Monroe. Rob Sikafus. Chris Meter filling in for Merhofer. Will Brown. Tracy Evans. Randy Barnett. Curtis Yoder. Aaron Eisenhart. David Rice. Johnny Aldridge. Ray Herford. Nick Rohr. Next captain, I got a special thanks to Mark Common. He's been a captain about 5 or 6 years. Always goes above and beyond for this tournament. Thank you, Mark. Next captain, Sean Wright. Sean's one of my best friends in the world. He's been here every tournament, every step of the way with Kaiden's journey, and I thank you. These next 4 individuals I would like to step up: Blair Walrath, Joe Moore, Tom Covey, and Cody Tomasco. These 4 gentlemen are representing very special teams today. Through all of our years of running this event, this is probably the most special this event has ever been. Our softball family has been infected by congenital heart disease, and these guys are playing in honor of some of those angels. Blair Walrath will be playing in memory of baby Amory Litzinger, which is the niece to a fellow softball player, Jason Emer. If anyone is from Massillon and understands what family is, Blair Walrath and Oak Street family, that is what family is. Blair and his crew decided to play in this event for Amory today, and I wouldn't question anything else. They've come together for one of their friends, Jason Emer and his family. So I ask all of you to give them a special round of applause. Joe Moore will be playing in memory of baby Jack McCarthy. Besides Joe being one of my best buds, he is one of the most giving people I've ever met. When Tommy and Tracy got the news that their little baby had a serious health issue, Joe was right there to offer support. As only Joe would do, he approached me about helping the McCarthys out. I've known Tommy for a few years, with him playing baseball growing up with my nephew Cody, and always thought highly of him and his family. If we could take a second and give Joe, Tommy, and his wife Tracy a round of applause, I would appreciate it. Tom Covey will be playing in memory of Ledger Wilhelm, the son of Bill and Victoria Wilhelm. Bill will stand up here and speak here in a few minutes, so I'm not going to go too in depth about what his situation was, but I do want to go into it a little bit. Tom is one of the most generous, giving people I've ever met. Ever since I met Tom, he's always been willing to give. When you want to talk about a solid dude, you're talking about Tom Covey. I would also like Stevie Wilhelm to get a special round of applause today. Stevie, Bill, and Tom are all part of our softball community. Through the years, again, with competing against them and playing alongside them, these are some dudes that I would take on my side any day. I thank you guys for what you guys do for this event. As most of you know, Bill and Victoria lost their son right before this event last year. There wasn't much that we could do. We did present them with Ledger's Walkway, and that will always remain Ledger's Walkway. Ledger's name will always be on our shirts. Last December, we purchased a brick up at the Ronald McDonald House in Ledger's name. And besides just being remembered at this event, anybody who walks through the Ronald McDonald House will know how special Ledger was and the impact that he made. You guys will always have much love from my family to yours. Thank you. And Cody Tomasco will be representing my son, Kaiden, Kaiden's Army. In a few minutes, my wife, Christine, will present to you Kaiden's story, which most of you guys already heard 5 or 6 times at least. So I'm not going to get into that. But on to Cody. Cody, not only are you my nephew, but you're one of my better friends. Kaiden absolutely adores you and loves you so much. I couldn't ask for anybody else to represent Kaiden this year but you. You are a great brother to Devin, an awesome nephew, and a great cousin to my kids. I am honored that you can wear Kaiden's name on your chest today. I'm proud of you, everything you do, and everything you continue to do. Thank you. I also would like to thank my family and friends that help us out every year. I want to give special shout outs to the following people. My mother-in-law, Karen, who's always helping us out with the kids while we go to meetings and figure this stuff out. Thank you. My sister-in-law, Laura, she's here every year, all day, Friday, Saturday, helps us with this event. Thank you. Brittany McFarland and Beth Moore, they're up at the table right now. Brittany's back here. We could not do this without you guys. Thank you. I want to thank Randy Barnett for organizing all the umpires and sanctions. Thank you. Aaron Thompson and Don Patterson for their continued support of this event, for allowing us to use this complex. Nate Milliman of Nathan's Patio for sponsoring us every single year and always supporting Kaiden Cares throughout the year. And I want to move on to thanking our board of directors. Our board of directors puts in countless hours getting donations, making phone calls, going to meetings, ordering merchandise, talking to you guys. And those people are Mike and Katie Horton, Justin Mingus, Ashley Flyger, my sister Lori Gardner, and my wife Christine Gardner. Finally, I would like to thank my children, Kendall, she's 20 months old, she's right in the first row right there. My beautiful daughter, Carly, who's right here. And my son, Kaiden. Kaiden. This is Kaiden. This is the main reason that I started doing this for Kaiden Cares. And I thank God every day for him allowing me to be his father. You guys continue to amaze me. Each of you have your own talent. Carly is a competition dancer, Kaiden is a talented football player, and baby Kendall, you complete this family. So in closing, I can never express my gratitude for each and every one of you. You are all helping us accomplish our vision. Unfortunately, I don't have all day to talk, and in case I miss thanking anyone, thank you. And remember, today is not about wins or losses, or who is a good player or bad player. Today is all about the kids. Have fun, enjoy our event, and thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Christine Gardner, I'm Kaiden's mom. We're going to start off with our speakers. We have 3 other families beside ours here to spread awareness for congenital heart disease. So right now, I'd like to welcome our first speaker, Robin, along with her husband, Mike, and their daughter, Jane, and heart warrior, Jacob.
Thank you, everyone. Oh, he's running away. It's really funny that this event falls today on the 14th because today is Diagnosis Day. So 3 years exactly today, the 14th. I went for a 20-week ultrasound, being pregnant with him, and they didn't see all 4 heart chambers. So we were sent to to Akron Children's Hospital and met our cardiologist, Dr. Patel, who diagnosed Jacob with hypoplastic left heart syndrome. So he doesn't have a lower left pumping chamber. He's a single ventricle. So that requires 3-stage repair of different surgeries over like a 3 to 5 year timeline. So he had his first one on a Friday the 13th in January at 4 days old. That was like 8 hours, I think, an 8-hour surgery. And then we had our second one at 5 months old. And then we had a surprise one this year. He went into complete heart failure at the beginning of the year. He was very blue and very lethargic and slept all day, and we thought maybe it was just a cold, because heart warriors, if they get a cold, I'm sure you guys know, it just knocks them. He had rhinovirus last year and ended up in the ER at Children's for a week and change, just from a cold that if you or I got it, we would just maybe have a fever, drink some tea, and feel better. But it knocks them on their butt because their immune systems are so weakened. So we thought that's what it was, but it turned out it was total heart failure. We had a big debate. We do joint care with Akron Children's and the Cleveland Clinic. So we had a round table trying to decide if a valve repair or a heart transplant was the way to go. And we picked valve repair, and that seemed to be a golden ticket, because if you can't tell, he's kind of ordering now as he's running everywhere. But it's been an adventure, and we have a long way to go. He just started walking at 2.5. He still doesn't eat. He has a G-tube in his stomach. We're still behind on speech. We've got some left side weakness with his arm, which makes it awfully cute when he runs and he just moves his right arm instead of moving both. But we have a lot of therapists and endless doctor's appointments and things, but we have a smiling, obnoxious 2-year-old baby boy and a very brave heart warrior sister. The siblings get forgot sometimes, but you guys, you help so much. Poor Jane gets dragged to all of his appointments and sits very patiently in the corner, so I'm very proud of you, Miss. Dad, do you want to say a word?
He grabbed the microphone. So I just wanted to say thank you to this organization and everybody that's here early on a Saturday morning. It means so much to us. We go through lots of appointments, lots of medical issues, lots of surprises. Every time he sneezes, we think he's going to end up back in the hospital. So to be able to come out to an event like this, be able to relax and have a good time and see people we know and meet new people, it's greatly appreciated. We're humbled, we're honored, and we're very happy to be here. So thank you so much.
Yeah, okay, you're okay. All right, guys, thank you so much. Our next family speaking about their heart angel, Amory, is Amy Emer, along with Carlos Lissinger and Sister Bella by their side. And little Miss Bella has been one of our family friends for a long time, because she's really good friends with our daughter, Carly. So here you go.
Good morning. Thank you everyone for coming out to this and supporting such a good cause. We're learning I had the opportunity to speak today, especially for the people and kids we were honoring. Something told me I had to be a part of today's event. You see, the Gardner family knows my daughter Bella. She's had sleepovers at their house in the past, but I never knew their son's heart story until one day we were staying at the Ronald McDonald House, getting ready to head to the Cleveland Clinic. A couple gentlemen opened the door with Kaiden care bags, and one of them happened to be Jack. As we got on the shuttle to go to Cleveland Clinic, that's when Bella said, "Mom, I think that was Carly's dad." And that's when I reached out to Christine. I don't know how to ever repay you for picking Bella up for the day just to get her away from the hospital life, but I thank you. I'll never forget the moment me and Christine had when you picked Bella up that day. You knew how I was feeling, the feeling of being scared and being worried because you had been in my shoes before. My Zaribniak family, Mike and Robin, were so kind to meet up with us for dinner when I was pregnant, expecting a daughter that also had HLHS. They explained everything to us and were available to answer any questions along the journey. And ironically, we even got to become neighbors at the Cleveland Clinic after one or two surgeries. And to the McCarthy family, I reached out to Tracy when I heard about baby Jack's story. It was nice to know when that you feel alone with your emotions, you have other families to reach out to. My heart still is with you, McCarthy family, as I know how it feels to lose a heart baby. So here is our story. My name is Amy Emer, and this is Carlos Litzinger. And we were the proud parents of a beautiful heart princess named A-Marie. On October 26, 2018, A-Marie was born with HLHS. She had her first heart procedure, a banding procedure, at only a week old. This was due to her being born premature and only weighing 5 pounds at birth. It was a stopgap until she was big enough to have her first out of 3 major surgeries for those with HLHS, known as the Norwood procedure. You see, A-Marie was born with essentially a half a heart, in which the left side of her heart did not fully develop. These 3 major surgeries were so that she could live off the right side of her heart for the rest of her life. A-Marie had her second open heart surgery, her first major surgery, 3 weeks later after the Norwood procedure. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. She had other complications before and after these surgeries. She had smaller kidneys, sugar issues. She even had a port placed at one point for dialysis. Then we eventually determined it best to have a trach put in to assist with her breathing struggles. You see, what made her so unique is not only did I have a child, that 1 out of 110 born with a heart condition, I also had a child that 1 in 32,000 who are born with this is known as Kabuki syndrome. We found out that she had Kabuki syndrome through additional genetic testing after birth. And the Kabuki syndrome diagnosis explained the other complications she had been experiencing. But ultimately, it was her heart that led to her sudden death, April 19th, 2019. When A-Marie went into sudden cardiac arrest. The plan was to have her return back to rehab in only a couple days, and we thought we were just that much closer to bringing her home. But at only 5 months and 19 days, we had to make the most difficult decision of our lives. The doctors and nurses did everything they could to save her. But seeing her on life support machines that were keeping her alive and not knowing the outcome, we knew she was suffering. I held my baby as they disconnected all the machines, and she slowly slipped away without no more IVs, no more pokes or incisions, no more pain, no more suffering. There are only two outcomes for people with heart conditions, and unfortunately, we were not prepared for the worst of the two. Congenital heart awareness is now everything to us. These children will go through something you and I may never experience in our whole lives. There will always be a missing piece in our hearts, but through sharing Amory's story and talking about our experiences, we will always be able to keep her memory alive. To my heart families, I know what you're going through and what you've been through. The sleepless nights, the worry, the crying, and how you have to be the sole advocate for your child's well-being. I want you to know you're not alone, and we're here for you. We are here for each other, and for that we are. Sorry. And to each and every one of you here today, I thank you. Thank you for supporting such a good cause we hold dear to our hearts. Your efforts to support us in raising money today will be unappreciated by those families still living in these emotional moments while trying to be present for their children. Thank you.
Wow. It's home. I'm sorry. Is someone most of us have known for a while, and is one of our own. Let's welcome Bill and Victoria, along with their sons Kaiden, Hunter, and their newest addition, Finley.
Good morning. I travel around the United States and I speak for a living. I get in front of people. I never read. And today I don't know if I'm going to be able to read this. My wife and I's journey began in 2013. It's the year Vicki and I got married, and shortly after getting married, obviously we decided about adding an addition to our family. At the time, I don't need this. I was already a stepfather to two sons, Kaiden and Hunter. And for some reason, as the years passed, Vicki and I, we just weren't able to conceive a child. So in 2015, we went and saw a specialist. They told us that the only way that we could have a child would be to go through the IVF process. So in 2016, we began going through that. My wife endured months of shots, procedures, and just anything you could think of for us to have a child. In 2017, we had a successful transfer. My wife was pregnant. We had everything that we thought we wanted. For months, we had doctor's visits that went great. There was no problems. We even had testing done ahead of time to ensure that our child was healthy. In mid-July, We had a gender reveal, found out we were having a little boy. And a couple dates that I'll always remember. August 1st, I was at a conference in Cleveland. I was sitting outside in the courtyard talking to Vicky on the phone. And that night, we finally decided on a name, Ledger Lane Wilhelm, which I still believe is the greatest name ever. Little did we know that 48 hours from naming our son, that we would lose him. On August 3rd, we had a just normal checkup. The doctor couldn't find his heartbeat, which we were told it was kind of normal. He might be in a position that they couldn't find it. So they sent us to Mercy for an emergency ultrasound, where the ultrasound tech did the test, and within 60 seconds, our doctor called and gave us the worst news that an expecting parent could ever get. Our son's heart was no longer beating, and he wasn't with us anymore. August 4th, to this day, my wife and I still don't know how we got through that day, because on August 5th, early in the morning, our son Ledger was born. And there's nothing more horrible than holding your son and knowing no matter how you hold him or what you do, he can't go home with you. So this is where I want to transition now and let everybody here know what a great organization Kaiden Cares is. A week after Ledger passed, I reached out to Jack, and I had played in this tournament at this point for at least 8 or 9 years. And I asked him if I could put Ledger's initials on my jersey. And as Jack mentioned earlier, it was 2 weeks before this event took place, and he assured me, "Sure, Bill, I'll put his initials on your jersey." Little did I know that on that day, everybody would have Ledger's name on their jersey, and the entire day would be dedicated to him. In 2018, as Jack mentioned earlier, they dedicated the walkway to him. So in a way, even though I lost my son, on this day every year for this tournament, he comes to life. So I want to thank Jack. I want to thank the Kaiden Cares community, everybody that takes part in this. I want to give a special thanks to Tom Covey. For the second year, he's been the team captain and has led our Ledger's Warrior team, and has drafted and has been there. He was there when we were in the hospital, when we got the bad news. He's been a part of this every step of the way since everything happened. And then I want to give another special thanks to my twin brother. Who was there when he was born, and who every year has donated money in the honor of Ledger's name. So once again, I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank my sons, Kaiden and Honor, for always being there. And then my wife for being the strongest person I've ever had. And we were lucky enough on May 20th, that our son Ledger was able to handpick our daughter, Finley Nora Lane. She'll be 4 months next week. So thank you again. I appreciate everything everybody does here. And just have a good day. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go into Kaiden's story. I think Justin's bringing me some batteries. I think I'm going to change this really quick. Kaiden's story. When Kaiden was born, everything was perfect. Then came the next day. A great day of heartache, stress, and absolute horror. As we learned, he was born with congenital heart disease, specifically named tetralogy of Fallot. Big name. And that he had to have open heart surgery before the age of 1, or he would not survive. As time went on, he was not doing well, and his cardiologist decided that it was time for his surgery at just 3 months old. On December 28th, we took Kaiden to the Cleveland Clinic to give him a fair chance at life. One of the hardest things we've had to ever face was carrying him into that hospital and handing him over to the surgical team. The feeling is indescribable unless you face this. Praying God that he knew that we were doing the right thing. Jack and I both at that moment made a promise that we would do whatever we could do to help others and that we would be forever grateful. They took Kaiden back. 9 hours of complete and utter torture. Your mind and your heart go places you never knew existed. The feeling in your body is something you will never be able to get let go because you never knew it existed. Then the phone call came. Kaiden was out and he was doing well. Everything stopped and Jack and I knew that everything was going to be okay. During Kaiden's visit, he had some complications that sent him back to the OR 2 more times. That extended his stay at the Cleveland Clinic. And we knew we would do whatever he needed and we'd give him as long as he needed, just so he can come home with us. During that stay, we were given a care bag filled with things that we needed. Things that I didn't pack, thinking that we weren't going to be there as long as we were. We were thankful. And that's when we knew how to help others. What we do is we care, and we create Kaiden Cares bags. We drop them off at the Ronald McDonald House in Cleveland on Kaiden's anniversary date, which is December 28th. Every year we've done that. Last year, which was the year Amy and the family was there, and I did not know that, that's when we delivered the 70 bags, along with providing a meal for that family that we go in and make. On that trip alone, as in everyone here that donates their time and their money, that's including you, we roughly spent $7,500. Care bags roughly go between $75 and $125 a piece with what they're filled with and depending on the situation and the child's age. Throughout the year, we've donated bags based on what the child is going through or the family. We also were able to provide many gas cards and food gift cards. We also did some food drops for people, and we also donated $3,000 to our speaking families last year. This is why you guys are playing. We try to make this so much for fun for everybody involved. And this year again, we're providing the speaking families a total of $3,000. I want everybody to give yourselves a round of applause for that, because that's the hard work you guys donate. money, these families will be able to use for medical bills or something fun or an activity of their choosing. Each field is assigned to a child. If that team that assigns to that child wins the tournament, that family will get to use $1,800 towards what I mentioned. The other families will get $600 apiece for medical bills or whatever. If one of Kaiden's teams wins, which is on this, team field 4, the families will split $1,000 between each of you. And I have to mention that there has been a small change to field number 3. That is Ledger's field. However, I would like Tommy and Tracy McCarthy to come to the field, please. There's Bill. And Vicky, is she around? Yeah, come on, girl. Come on, guys. So, field number 3 was originally, set up for Ledger and their family. But Bill and Vicky both decided that whatever winnings that field gets, they're going to donate to the McCarthys to use whatever you guys need for any medical bills or anything for the new baby, anything like that. Okay? So I want to give you guys a round of applause for Bill and Victoria here, family. And we have a banner made for baby Jack that we're going to hang up on field 3. Just so everybody knows who you're playing for, okay? And it's such a selfless gift. Thank you. All right, guys, so I would like to take a moment of silence for baby Jack, Amory, and Ledger, and to anyone else who's lost a child or miscarried. Being said, I want to thank each and every one of you. We could not do any of this without you, especially all of our volunteers, our families. We are going to do the first pitch on each field. So I'm going to send the families to their assigned fields. They're going to get the ball, and a family representative is going to throw the ball. You guys are going to sign it, and we're going to get this tournament started. Thank you.